State negotiation team organized luncheon to lure investors. Thousands to benefit from new health center. And Donald Trump sworn in as 45th U.S. president.
This is the National EMTV News with Lorraine Gabina.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Saturday's news. Strong indication of government support is vital to attract investment for ambitious developments like Paga Hill Tourism City. This was a message Peter Barge, a distinguished member of the Paga Hill Advisory Board, drove home to developers and the government alike at a luncheon the government hosted with prospective Chinese investors yesterday.
Barge, who has held director roles of public and private companies in the property and tourism industry in Europe, India, Australia and Asia, said in his experience, ambitious projects like Paga Hill Tourism City that have turned into booming tourism attractions all had one thing in common.
Both in Macau, the Chinese and Macau government supported the vision, and in Australia, the Australian government, federally and state, supported the vision. So when Gummy said to me, I want you to come out of retirement and help me realise this vision, the first question I asked was, how committed are the government? Because if the government's not committed, it won't happen.
Like Barge, Paga Hill's advisory board comprises of respectable and reputable leaders with a wealth of experience in hospitality, tourism, business and media.
The last few months we have managed to bring to the table for us a highly competent advisory board, which is headed up by David Buxty, who used to be the chairman for Astor Hotel.
PHD's advisory board, backed by the government, will now lead an expression of interest process aimed at securing foreign direct investment, qualified developers, and the best possible outcome for all stakeholders. Trade, Commerce and Industry Minister Richard Maru assured investors that the Paga Hill Tourism City, like the LNG project, would be worth the investment.
This investment has the highest support of our government. Already the government is committed and spent over 100 million on the roads around Paga Hill. That's the commitment we've given to this.
The government has in fact shown faith in the project by way of an NEC decision to approve an incentive framework for it. A state negotiation team made up of members from the Department of Tourism, Arts and Culture and Trade, Commerce and Industry will now engage negotiations on incentives for developers, investors and partners at Paga Hill Estate. Already the project is attracting foreign investment with an MOU formed with Shenzhen government, CHEC and COVAC to fund and construct a 5-star hotel in preparation for the APEC Summit come 2018. Melissa Gaviro, National EMTV News.
More than 10,000 people of Komkui and Solo in the Hagen Central electorate will soon benefit from a 1.3 million kina health center. Local MP William Duma presented the check of 100,000 kina to extend the project so they can access health services at their doorstep.
The 1.3 million kina funding was from the Mount Hagen Health Authority to build the health center. It comes under the program to partner with churches and build more rural hospitals and health centers in Western Highlands Province. This also comes under the National Department of Health program to provide access to proper health care to all the rural areas of Papua New Guinea.
Community leaders, pastors, all stakeholders, landowners, all businessmen, all educated elites, support services community.
The people of Komkui and Solo are from the Moge tribe, one of the biggest tribes in Hagen Central District. Many of them reside close to the city's sewage. Local pastor Gabriel Bach said many of them got sick from the smell of the sewage. but he said they can't get treated at Mount Hagen General Hospital because it is a referral hospital and they need to visit a local clinic before being referred.
Sorry, here because town maybe give him Hagen town, maybe give him Papa Tumban give him sorry to come down here, so maybe back up. So town maybe go town. I've seen plenty of long. Maybe that's place man go, but maybe section maybe back up. No, no space maybe by 50 minutes treatment.
The landowner who gave his land freely to build the health center, Samuel Robkin, said he is old and he wanted to be close to the hospital and get proper health services.
Health center, machine, high machine, S machine, bell machine, leg machine, all the machine become a year. All machinery come here. All Papa Nungni was at all Savilongen, all come Loyana, people like him on Semna. Now me and me, Papa ground me talk.
Meanwhile, the 100,000 kina check was presented by Jim Penna, the executive officer to William Duma, and was witnessed by Mount Hagen City Authority CEO Leo Noki. Penna presented the check to a local contractor who will build 2 patients' wards.
Because it is vital na very important service lo community by kitchen service me think lo working take him 1 month as well lo finish them lo ward house na because lo contract been a wedding finish lo church partnership one time government only a wedding 1.3 million na me complete finish so now by me rush up instead of 1 month now working with the ward house.
Vasinata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Sports Minister and member for Moresby South, Justin Tachenko, conducted a groundbreaking ceremony yesterday for a new road in the Calgary settlement of his electorate. For years, most people in this part of the city have been living under harsh conditions, hence the development changes to transform the settlement into a suburb.
After years of living in poor conditions and lack of development, Calgary settlement in Port Moresby's South electorate will finally see some changes. Local MP Justin Tachenko officiated at the groundbreaking ceremony yesterday for a new road. Added to with the new road will be a proper drainage system, including water pipes, street lights and fencing. The aim is to turn this settlement within city limits into a proper suburb.
Beckana Construction will commence the work on the top road to join up down to the basketball court that is currently blocked. They will work on this road all the way through to the end, this feeder road through to the back of the school, and also the side feeder road down to the end as well.
While the construction is taking place, allocation of proper homes will also be added to the agenda.
Calgary and Sabama and Kogeba, the NCDC Physical Planning Board, with the approval of the Governor as the chairman, have been doing surveys, you probably see them walking around, have been doing surveys to finally get your block numbers, a section and lot number, so you can have your land for you and your family and into the future.
The member also plans to improve human resource in his electorate, thus providing education opportunities for young people who want to further their education.
This project is to upgrade your living standards.
The road construction in the Port Moresby South electorate is being carried out by Deccanite Construction. Godwin Eki, National EMTV News.
Grand Chief Sir Michael Somare arrived in Lae this morning to a rousing welcome by a waiting crowd. After a flight delay, the New Guinea flight touched down at Nadzab Airport. The Grand Chief emerged from the aircraft assisted by his daughter. While Sir Michael may be in the last months of his political career, he is still a welcome figure in Morobe, where he went to school many years ago. Sir Michael will be speaking tonight at a Pangu Party fundraiser at the Lae Yacht Club. The Lae City Council will be making some cost-cutting decisions by handing down grass-cutting and beautification duties to each of the 6 ward councils in the city. Lae City Manager Roy Carmen says the move will ensure that there is transparency and that actual work gets done to keep the city clean.
This year we are trying to do that. The council has made a decision in a council meeting to give back the responsibilities of grass cutting back to the councillors, so they will pick people within their ward to do grass cutting in the 6 wards of the city. In that way, we feel there'll be some control and there'll be no unnecessary claims on grass cutting and all this stuff. Self must provide. What we're going to do is when the grass cutting funding is released from the provincial government to us, we then allocate to each ward certain amount of money, so they work within the confines of that amount. If we say we give 30,000 for first quarter for the grass cutting in all the wards, then they work within the confines of 30,000. They cannot go beyond that.
Among stories after the break, Donald Trump sworn in as the 45th U.S. president amid global protests. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. A financial literacy program organized by Bank South Pacific for communities has proven to be successful. Banking Education Officer Retail John Gavuli told EMTV News the training has helped Papua New Guineans learn about managing funds and a savings culture.
The people of Joyce Bay in Mosby South have been empowered with financial literacy and education training conducted by Bank South Pacific.
At least come up with initiative to, help themselves, provide for themselves and use money wisely and do little business and, to create wealth for themselves.
The training involves learning basic money management, which is important for every individual.
Yes, definitely. That's why this year our plan for this year we are more focused into rural areas. That's why we are engaging our sub-branches and agents.
Participants thank BSP for providing the training, which they say is the lifelong investments.
So we must continue on. More things are going to come. More things are going to happen in your life. And let's grab it and move on.
The training was possible through the Youth Empowerment Foundation, and yesterday saw participants graduating with flying colors.
We are from Joyce Bay. Thank you, BSP.
Fabian Haklitz, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, Donald Trump was sworn in as the 45th President of the United States last night, succeeding Barack Obama and telling a bitterly divided country he will pursue America First policies at home and abroad. Revisiting themes from his improbable campaign victory, Trump said his presidency would aim to help struggling middle-class families build up the U.S. military and strengthen U.S. borders. The transition from a Democratic president to a Republican took place on the west front of the domed U.S. Capitol before a crowd of former presidents, dignitaries and hundreds of thousands of people on the grounds of the National Mall. The crowd stretched westward on a cool day of occasional light rain. Trump, 70, takes over a country divided after a savage election campaign. A wealthy New York businessman and former reality TV star, he will set the country on a new, uncertain path at home and abroad. As Congress welcomed Trump last night in the grand inauguration event, many dissatisfied Americans took to the streets in protest against the new president. Since then, the protests have grown and have gone global. Cities like Manila in the Philippines and Sydney, Australia have also joined in protests defending women's rights, among many other issues raised.
On home soil, America's political divisions turned violent on Washington streets during U.S. President Donald Trump's inauguration as black-clad anti-establishment activists set fires and clashed with police while Trump supporters cheered on the new chief executive. Hundreds of protesters with varying agendas marched through downtown, and some groups clashed with police, throwing rocks and bottles, which police responded to with tear gas and concussion grenades. Offshore, hundreds more joined the protest against Trump's inauguration in central Brussels, lighting candles in defense of women's rights in the bitter cold yesterday evening. Joining rallies across the world voicing anxiety over Trump's comments during the campaign about women, immigrants and Muslims, protesters held signs reading "Love Trump's Hate," "Thank you Obama," and "My Body, My Choice." Reuters News has also captured mass protests in Peru, while in Mexico, as citizens protested against the new U.S. president, Mexican President Enrique Pena Nieto took to Twitter to congratulate Trump, saying he looks forward to strengthening ties with the U.S. Protests have also erupted in Germany, England, Japan, and the Philippines, and that is only a few.
Trukai Sports is next. Details when we come back.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The first set of beach volleyball games got underway today for the under-15 and under-18 men's and women's teams. Vice President for Women's Volleyball, Karo Rupa, said the aim of the competition is to bring youths together to get a feel of beach volleyball and also to find talents for future national and international events.
The competition today saw a total of 17 teams for both under-18 men's and women's teams, 12 men and 5 women's team, while under-15s had 1 men and 4 women's teams, making a total of 22 participating teams, with the competition to have 3 sets, with first 2 sets to have 21 points and the third to have 15 points. In the next 3 weekends, the competition will have a grace period to allow more teams to register and participate. Vice President for Women's Volleyball, Karo Rupa, said it is time to get the development programs rolling to develop raw talents into the future. Meanwhile, Men's Volleyball President Kila Oli said the 2015 Pacific Games was the way forward to prepare our juniors for the 2019 Games and other international beach volleyball competitions.
The results of the last Pacific Games has really given us the challenge to start somewhere, and we thought to start with the junior development program is the way to start for a long-term vision.
Top players will be scouted to form a development squad to train for the Youth Commonwealth Games and the 2019 Pacific Games. Godwin Eki, National EMTV Sports.
Jonathan Thurston has decided this year will be his last of playing representative football. The experienced halfback has never missed a State of Origin match since his debut for the Maroons in 2005.
He owns 3 State of Origin records that may never be beaten and is the Kangaroos' greatest ever point scorer. But Jonathan Thurston insists he has more memories to create in what will be his final year of representative football. At the conclusion of his first week back at training with the North Queensland Cowboys, Thurston confirmed he would step down from representative football after the 2017 Rugby League World Cup, but is yet to extend his stay with the Cowboys for what would be his 14th season with the club in 2018. His 214 points in Origin are the most by more than 50 points, and he needs just 1 more Queensland jersey to move past Darren Lockyer to be second behind Cameron Smith as the second most capped Origin player of all time. Thurston will be 34 years of age when Game 1 is played at Suncorp Stadium on May 31st, and although he admits it will be an emotional time, he is adamant that it is the right time to step aside. Seen as one of the greatest players to ever play the game, Thurston has expressed his desire to play on again in 2018, but is waiting for the salary cap to be agreed upon by the NRL and the Rugby League Players Association before putting pen to paper. Elijah Levitt, National EMTV Sports.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details when we come back.
Trukai Sports. True Kai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Taking a look at your weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, in Port Moresby, Daru and Kerema, a shower or two, and showers and rain expected in Alotau and Popondetta. In the Momasa region, a shower or two for Lae and Medang, and mostly fine in Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands, it's mostly fine for Lorengau and Kavieng, a shower or two for Kokopo, Rabaul and Kavieng, Kimbe rather, and showers for Buka. And in the Highlands region, a shower or two for all centers. Forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerema to Yule Island to Hood Point to Samurai Island. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands. Waters of Samurai Island to Cape Vogel to Fincher Fen. Waters of Long Island to Medang to Bogia to Wewak to Aitape to Vanimo to northern PNG Indonesian border. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. Waters of Fincher Fen through Vitius Strait, CSE Islands to Long Island, and waters of New Island to New Britain and Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Ocean forecast for PNG areas in the Coral Seas, slight seas with west winds 10 to 15 knots. In the Solomon Seas, seas slight to moderate with northeast to southwest winds of 10 to 20 knots. In the Bismarck Seas, seas slight to moderate with northwest to northeast winds at 10 to 20 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, slight seas with northwest winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
And before we go, recapping our top stories again. Government team organized luncheon to lure investors. Thousands to benefit from new health center in Hagen Central. And Donald Trump sworn in as 45th U.S. president. And that ends National EMTV News this Saturday, the 21st of January 2017. From the entire news team, I'm Lorraine Gabina. Good night.